Come on in, guys and gals. Sometimes today, Nathan, it's like when you say guys, I did it like when I coached the girls softball team, you guys were there, right, Cheryl?
Yeah.
I'm in the dugout. I'm like, come on, guys, get your butt in gear, and it's like, didn't think anything of it. But nowadays, like from watching news and stuff like that, like are you even saying the right things anymore? Like, is everything I'm saying like wrong? So
I'm going to be offended.
I know you don't know what to do. So anyway, but how about this? Come on in, Craig Proctor System Platinum Nation. That's right. So I want to welcome all of you into today's session. In case you didn't know this is an unscheduled meeting for a few platinum level members. We didn't invite everyone, but we invited some of you to jump on today. And look, I'm always looking for an opportunity to work on our business and make it better. So we have got some goodies in store for you guys today. As you get settled in, type into the comments and chat where you are. Type into the comments and chat where you are, please. Go ahead and do that. Let me flip it over to my little slide here. Let's take a look at this. All right, so this was the promotion to get you guys on today. And Cheryl was kind enough to do that. So she's responsible for you guys being here today. So thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Right. And we do these kind of Zoom meetings about once every other month or so, don't we, Nathan? We get together with a few platinum members and we talk about things off the record as well as on the record, looking at a different twist on how you think and what you think about the direction you're headed in, that kind of thing. So this is what's on the agenda today. Now, look down here at these bullet points at the bottom. There's 3 of them. So I want to make sure that you guys definitely get valued today by showing up. So this is what we're going to do for you. For showing up today and sticking with us till the end. We're going to be here for about, what time is it now? 4 o'clock Eastern time. So we're going to be here at about 5:30. So for sticking with us till the end, Cheryl knows who you are. And for all of you guys that stick to the end, we're going to reward you with these 3 big bullet points. The first bullet point is a complimentary VIP pass to the next Titanium Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty Zoom. Now, we do those every Monday, by the way. So, and they're pretty big topics, like you can imagine. So we're going to give you one of those passes to attend one of our next meetings complimentary, so you can see and hear what's going on there. All right, next bullet point is we have an organizational chart that I want you guys to have that's not in the platinum materials, but I'm going to send it to you and we're going to show you that here. Matter of fact, let's see if I can just pull that up now. See if I have one of those. Let me show you what that looks like. Wasn't prepared to do that. I probably should have been. We were just looking at one a minute ago, weren't we, Nathan?
We were.
All right, let's take a look at that so everybody can see what, oh, here it is. I found it. Okay, that's what it looks like. So I'm going to send you this organizational chart with a better breakdown of kind of what it is you're looking at and why it's a big deal. Okay, so I want you guys to have that. So we're going to get that to everybody as just for sticking with us today. And the last thing was Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty Brokerage financial model. That's key performance indicators. Now, most everybody at this point in the game understands what a key performance indicator is, KPIs. And some of you guys actually do pretty good at tracking and reporting them. But man, I'm telling you, once you understand the key performance indicators at all levels of your business, which essentially are standards, once you know what they are and you can get those implemented in your business, it's a game changer. You can actually end up with a business. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do, what they're pushing for, why, and all that. So congratulations to all of you guys on that. You're going to get all 3 of those by sticking with us today, and we'll be done about 5:30. Okay. So my mission today, Nathan, is to try to hit on all 4 of these big bullet points here and help everyone essentially sell more homes and make more money. Okay. With the end result being a business, a real honest to goodness business that works without you, sellable business asset, I call it. That's the ultimate real estate company, something that you own, you can sell it, you can pass it on and still benefit from it along the way, but it's completely predictable. Wouldn't that be awesome? Man, that would be killer. And then like I've had it over and over again. have it today. Many Craig Proctor system members have that. So it's not far-fetched or anything that, we're talking about that doesn't exist. This is something that is real. So that's what we're going to try to get into today. Nathan O'Reilly. Let me introduce Nathan here. Or better yet, let me have Nathan introduce himself. Nathan, tell everybody who you are, what you do every day, big dog.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nathan O'Reilly. I'm the VP of Sales for the Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and Platinum. So basically what I'm here to do is I'm here to help you guys kind of elevate your business, show you guys really how to get and built to sell business. Like, if that's what you guys are looking for, that's what we basically do here every single day at the Titanium Your Home Sold Guaranteed. It's like, okay, what does it look like to sell your business? It's not necessarily that you guys are going to sell it, but like what would it look like if it did like that? So that's basically what we're doing here every single day, teaching, coaching, and training, helping you guys out.
And we have the lovely Cheryl O'Reilly. Cheryl.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys? I'm so glad you're here. What does Todd always say? You have to show up to go up. So Todd, make sure that I get you here. That's my job, to get you here. You got to show up to go up. So I'm sending all of Todd's important information to you guys. So
yeah, if you're here, you're right. If you're here today, you can thank Cheryl. She was the one that put everything together to arrange this meeting and get everybody here. And Cheryl is a tremendous asset. Matter of fact, Cheryl, you created that logo right there, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty logo.
You stretched it, Todd, or
yes,
squished it.
Yeah, exactly.
Use your shift key.
Oh my God, I altered the logo. Nathan, I'm going to trademark jail. So Cheryl's responsible for a lot of the things that you guys see, and she actually helps. Cheryl, lately you've been working with some Titanium and Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty owners on their recruiting, I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting some landing pages, and like you said, just more activity to recruit agents and grow your brokerage, grow your team. Type
into the comments if you guys could use either more or different help in your business. Type into the comments and let us know. Like if you want and can use more / additional different help. And when I'm talking about help, I'm talking about employees, team members, agents, outside sales agents, administrative people. It's all one bucket, but you need help. If you can use more or different help, to me, it's the same thing. Type it in the comments and let us know. I'd like to see you go on record and say that. All right, excellent. Okay, so with that, most everybody knows who I am, so no, I'm not going to introduce myself, but I will tell you what my mission is today. My mission is to help you guys see a different way of doing things and be inspired to go do them. If you want something different than what you have right now, let's describe that. What you have right now is what? What does your business look like today? Do you want something different, or do you want what you have today? Okay. Now, most of you are not satisfied with where you are right now, which is great. That's why we're glad you're here. If you're satisfied with where you are right now, you're probably not on this meeting and you're probably on your way out of Craig Proctor system. This is for people who are content, but are not satisfied. In other words, happy has nothing to do with being satisfied. It's two different things. Okay. I'm happy pretty much every day of every week. I'm living, people I love, they're here. I'm with my dad right now, actually, at my place up in Illinois. Like, I'm very happy, but I am not satisfied, which is why I'm doing the Zoom, because I'm not satisfied, and I'm assuming you guys aren't either. So if you want more, that's great. That means you've been given some DNA to want that. So we got to let that out of the cage and achieve it. But the essence of what I'm saying is that if you want something that you don't have right now, that's something different. It's probably going to require doing something different. Did I get that right, Nathan?
100%. You hit it nose right on the head.
Why is it then that so many people here try to achieve getting something different by doing more of the same? Like, isn't that really what happens on a most day-to-day basis, that most of us get up, we really want something different, but we continue to do the same? Like it's pretty weird. Like, yeah, I want a sellable business asset, but you're continuing to do the same thing. Yes, I want my primary customer, my ideal customer. I want my target customer to be people with a house to sell, but you're continuing to run the same kind of marketing systems. I really want a super profitable sales team, but you're continuing on with the same routine. It's a pretty weird question. Maybe you guys got a better answer than I have. To me, it's just, I already know it. Like I'm recognizing that if I want something different than I have right now, I'm going to have to do different. So I don't know if you guys understand that or are doing that, but I think that most people here do understand it, but doing it a different way, probably what we need to zero in on. So let's get on to that. All right. So I want to talk to you guys first about renting and owning. Nathan and I were talking about, if we're going to do a Zoom with Platinum members, what's like the first thing what's the first thing? Like, what's a starting point? So Nathan, it goes back to what I just said. Like, I kind of want something different. I want a business. I want a business that works without me. I want to, earn an income from owning versus like, being in it all the time. And it's like, okay, well, I wonder if our Platinum members understand the difference between renting and owning. I think we do from a real estate standpoint, right? Okay, so let's look at it this way. Most real estate agents understand the difference between renting and owning when it comes to real estate, like a house. People that rent a house, people that own a home. I think most people understand that. Okay. And I ask real estate agents, what's better, renting or owning? Okay. You guys tell me. Okay. If you get up every day and you tell the world that they should own versus rent, then why is owning better than renting? Nathan, Cheryl, why would owning be better than renting real estate?
You guys get to be able to have equity in it. Something that you can actually build, and then you can sell later on once it's worth more.
Okay, I like that. The underlying theme from that in my mind is freedom. Yep. Like when you rent, you're locked. Okay. Like if, let's say I'm renting a house and I don't like the kitchen and I want to change it. Well, I can't. It's not my kitchen.
Let's take it a step further. Let's say your landlord doesn't like the payment you're giving them.
Oh, they just change it.
Just change it.
Yeah, just change it. Yeah, I'm going to raise your rent. Right. So it's the very definition of like the worst thing in life is like renting. I don't know if that's probably overstating it, but you get what I'm saying. Like we pretty much understand the difference between owning and renting, and owning is freedom. So if for most of you that are looking at this right now, as we start this session, and we're getting up every day telling the world that you should own versus rent, then why are most of you that are watching this renters? It's a great question. And when I flipped this out, not too many conferences ago to Platinum members, and I said, hey, look, you're a real estate agent. That means you are a renter. You are not an owner. And boy, you talk about a gut punch for some people. It was a basic realization of like, you know what? Todd's right. Real estate agents are renters. 100%. You do not own that business. And then people arguing, but wait a second, Todd. I'm an independent contractor. Dude, you're a renter. No matter how you want to slice and dice or whatever little cherry thing, you can't do jack crap without your landlord telling you it's okay. And you know that. When you put your license with a brokerage, you are a renter. Okay, you are renting that brokerage to, quote, get paid. It is the law. So make no mistake about it, you're a renter. And I can list out all the perils with renting versus owning. We just talked about it from owning a home. Okay, but owning anything, including your business. So the intention here is if you want a business, if you want that, you first have to define what that is. Okay. And a business, in my opinion, is something that you can own, you can shape, you can mold, you can sell, you can grow. There's no one telling you what to do or not to do. Like, you're regulated by just the laws of the United States, not somebody else that really owns the place where you hang your license. So, yep, real estate agents are renters. So, I don't know, type into the comments and chat if that bothers you. There's no debating it. People can try to debate it on it, but no doubt about it. You're either renting or you're owning. What else is there?
Do we want to drop the poll, Todd?
Do we have one?
We do.
Yeah, let's do that. What's the poll here?
Is owning a sellable business asset on your vision board?
Is that the poll? Okay.
Yeah, is that, well, yeah, is that something you guys want? Like, I mean, let's be realistic, because it's like, you know, this is like owning versus renting. So, you know, is this something you guys want to do?
That's the poll we really should be asking almost daily of ourselves, especially with platinum members. You know, like, what are we doing here? Are we just trying to generate another transaction or two? Are we trying to build something? Or what's the end goal? So it's a really good concept, not to get too far sidetracked for what we have for you today, but think this through. When you get up every day and you work on whatever you're on, your enterprise, you're essentially trying to make your life better. And we already know the concept. Now, in order to make your life better, you got to make a lot of other people's lives better. All right. So helping other people get what they want. You're going to end up with pretty much whatever you want. We understand that concept, sowing and reaping and all this stuff. But what's the mechanism that will allow you to do that and end up with the very thing that you want? And to me, it's like a business is the ultimate way to pull that off. But what's the definition of business? What's the definition of a business? And Michael Gerber gets close to it in the E-Myth, Nathan. He says, if your real estate business, he doesn't use real estate, he says business. If your business depends on you, you don't have a business, you have a job. Okay. So Craig and I's point was there, and we've already done this. Like, we made these mistakes. Like, well, if you're going to get up and work on growing something that doesn't depend on you, wouldn't you rather own it versus rent it? And this is one of Craig's biggest regrets. He said it before. You guys know this. This is what he said. He said that I spent all of that time building up, quote, my business, and I never really owned it. So when he decided to, quote, retire from selling real estate, he basically just quit selling real estate. There was nothing he could sell. He was a real estate agent. Now, I'm not bragging, okay? I'm not bragging at all, but I will point out the obvious is that I owned my own real estate company. And when I decided to retire from selling real estate, I sold it in April of 2009, something that was really cool. I learned from, okay? So that's a profound difference. Anyway, that's a good polling question to start out with. If owning a sellable business asset is on your vision board, click yes. If it's not, click no. Owning a business is not for everyone, is it, Nate?
No, it's not. I mean, I would say the vast majority of people, this is probably not for. Just not. I mean, like, we basically say, look, if you're not in the top 2% of agents, you really probably might not even want to look at this, because you're better off renting at that point. It's like, if you don't have, you know, enough money for a down payment and you can't keep up the house, renting is probably a better option for you. And it's the same way here. So if you're, you know, if you're not in that like top percent, like, it might be better for you to be renting right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I guess that probably is true, but some renters never want to own.
Yes, that's true.
But I would say that given the option and clarity of what's better for your life, owning or renting, it really starts with what you want for your life.
Yes.
Right? Like what you want your life to look like should dictate whether you should be owning or renting right now. Anyway, it's a pretty good conversation. We're going to get into more of that. So thanks for taking the poll there. Appreciate that, guys. And I'm going to try to poll more often around that in the future as we talk about it. All right, here's the next question I got for you. And it really is a great piggyback off of what we just talked about. Like, what's the one thing that you could change that would change everything else? What is the one thing that you could change today that would change everything else? And Nathan, I'm amazed at people that have clarity around this, but they don't change it.
Yes.
They don't do anything about it. There's all kinds of things that they could change that would change something else, but we'll like zero it down. Like, what's the thing that would make the biggest impact that would change everything else? All right. And if you don't know what that is, we want to help you. Okay. We want to help you. As a matter of fact, let me give you a link to where you guys could go, and we can piggyback on this conversation a little bit more. Here it is. Let me throw this up on the screen. You guys grab that link right there. It's yhsgrlegacycall.com. If you want to zero in on what is the one thing that you could change that would change the trajectory of your entire business and life for the better. And there is something in there. You guys know this. I mentioned it on a previous webinar, Nathan, where, I got married. And when I got married to Christy, my life changed, and it changed for the better. Okay. Same thing when I had kids. Before I had kids, my life was one way. And when I had kids, my life became a different way. And I can assure you it was rich with experiences and fun and laughter to this day. So there is always something that you can change where you are right now. There's one thing in there. And if you think about it, it's trajectory change. Write that down. There's incremental gains and there's trajectory change. Write that down. That's a good one. Trajectory change. Okay. That changes the entire direction that you're going in. All right. The next thing I would encourage you guys to write down is direction. Write this down. This is good. Direction, not intention, determines destination. Okay. I'll say it again. Direction, not intention, determines destination. So many of you are going in a direction right now, but is it the direction that you most want to be going in? Okay. You're going in a direction, but your intention is like just about every one of you polled was, I want a sellable business asset. All right, cool. All right. That becomes your intention. Does your direction indicate that? Here's another one. Some of you say that, man, I really want to get more sellers. Like, I really wish that was kind of my business. And it's like, then why are you running a bunch of buyer ads? I really have this problem getting stuff implemented. Then why are you hiring VAs? So it all is like your direction determines your destination, not your intention. So we've got to take your intention that you want for your business and your life, and that's got to become the direction. So how do you do that? What change needs to be made today to do that? That's why we gave you guys a link. Make sure you got to put that in the chat there, Nathan, of yhsgrlegacycall.com. You need help in this area. So tap us, because we're doing this with a large number of Craig Proctor members. Maybe it should be you. All right. I'm not saying change. I'm saying, what is the one thing that you could change that would change everything else? Zero in on that. All right. So pretty good head turner right there and all that. All right. So good. Now, next question. If owning your own Craig Proctor system brokerage could be far more lucrative and beneficial to you personally, professionally, and financially, would you be open to taking a deeper look at that? All right. As a matter of fact, I am going to poll you guys on that right now. I am going to share the results of this poll with Craig Proctor. Okay. So take a look at the poll. All right. There's no obligation for taking a polling question, obviously, but it's a serious question. If owning your own Craig Proctor system brokerage could be far more lucrative and beneficial to you personally, professionally, and financially, would you be open to taking a deeper look at that? So I'm going to give everybody a chance to read that again and answer that question. It's a serious question. And Craig would like the results of that polling question. Okay. Many of you, we've asked this question before. We've talked to you about it. And you're probably moving in that direction. Some of you might be seeing it for the first time. That's cool. But take a stab at it. You see the word owning, not renting. This means you're not a real estate agent. You are the owner of a business now. It is a company that you own, that you can keep, sell, scale, whatever you want to do with it. But it obviously is better than what your current situation is. Who would want to do something that didn't make our life better? All right, so I'm going to close the poll here in 5 seconds. But if owning your own Craig Proctor system brokerage could be far more lucrative and beneficial to you personally, professionally, and financially, would you be open to taking a deeper look at it? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I appreciate you guys taking that poll. Thank you very much. Okay. Whether you answer yes or no doesn't change how we feel about anyone. Owning your own business is not for everyone. And you know this from the majority of the world. The majority of the world doesn't own their own business. Real estate agents, again, are renters. They are not owners. Okay. So whenever you have to answer to someone that controls what you do or not, that's a big difference. So let's take a look at this a little bit deeper now. If you're going to own your own company now or in the future, and we want everyone to do it now, if that's what you want. All right. So let me repeat, if you want to be an owner of a business, we want you to do that now, not later. Okay. It's not something you aspire to be. It's something you are. And there's no reason that it can't be a thing today. You know, if it's, what do I say, Nathan? If it's good for you this time next year, then it's good for you now. If it's not good now, it's probably not good this time next year. Like you've got some mental issues going on. If it's like, I will get to that, or that's something I want. And it's like, no. The way to gain something you want is to reverse engineer it to today and take the steps necessary. And you're going in that direction. And you end up with more than you even bargained for. So, all right. So let's take a look at that. If you own a business, let's say you own your own real estate brokerage. In real estate, there's these real estate brokerage models like RE/MAX when I had my license there. And RE/MAX's customers were real estate agents, right, Nate?
Yes.
Okay. So essentially now as an owner of your own business, you got two options. Most real estate companies' agents are their customers, but Craig Proctor's system brokerage customers are people that want to sell a home. Okay. Everybody got it? So people with a house to sell. So one is, quote, business to business, and the other one's business to consumer. Does everybody know the difference? So if you can own something, would you prefer to own something that is, quote, more valuable, or would you consider owning something that is less valuable? This is a great question. And the reason I'm asking you these questions and getting you to think about it is because if this is something you ultimately want, you probably should know what it is you ultimately want. Like, what are you going to invest in? Because you're getting up every day and doing the work anyway. Why not have the work equal getting you what you most want? So this is tremendous. But I see a lot of real estate agents make this mistake. They become brokers of their own business because they don't like being real estate agents. Well, newsflash, I didn't like being a real estate agent either, but I liked the buyers, or quote, the sellers that I worked with. I didn't have any issues with those guys. It was the parts of the job that drove me insane. I wasn't great at all the parts of the job, but I was really good with influencing the customers. Okay. And the building part of it. All right. So of course I don't like being a real estate agent. Who does? 95%, what is it? Yeah. 95% of all agents earn under 100 grand a year. 80% quit the business every 5 years. So who would want to be that? So what we want you to do, if you want to be an owner, as most of you did, and I'm just going to talk to you, if you want to be an owner of your own business, then who's going to be your customer? Okay. And if you want a more valuable business, I'm going to show you why this is important. Companies whose customers are consumers are significantly more valuable than brokerage whose customers are real estate agents. And Nathan, you pulled up these numbers.
Yes.
This is RE/MAX. So Remax here has 130,000 quote employees. Okay. And their customer is real estate agents. Everybody agrees with that. Everybody knows Remax's customer is real estate agents. Okay. Their valuation is $385 million. That's $2,961 per employee. That's their valuation. Okay. A company who's been around forever, whose customer is real estate agents. And they've done pretty well. Holy crap. They got 130,000 of these guys. All right. Realty, giant company. They have a $1.3 billion market cap. 200,000. What was that, Nate?
Yeah, look at how many companies, like big name companies that they own too, like Century 21, Coldwell Banker, Better Homes and Gardens. That's a massive company.
Yeah, $1.3 billion market cap, but the value is $5,000 per employee. All right, so we go back and look at Remax, $2,961 per employee, $5,000 per employee. Keller Williams, which is privately owned, but has been valued. You know, Gary was considering taking the company public. He has 190,000 agents. It's estimated worth somewhere around 1.5 billion by all measures that research that we did. That's $7,894 per quote employee. All right, $7,894. Remember, these are companies whose customers are real estate agents. Now, let's look at some companies whose customers aren't. Here's Redfin. Most of you guys are familiar with Redfin. Redfin's customer are buyers. That's their customer. All right. They have 6,400 agents. They got an $800 million market cap, market valuation there. And you can see the value there. It's $125,000 per agent. You guys see that? Again, this company customer is consumers, not agents. Look at this. Realty, $5,000 per agent valuation.
Yeah.
Redfin, $125,000 valuation.
And just to give everyone a heads up, this is all the companies Realty owns. This is mind-boggling. Better Homes and Gardens, Century 21, Coldwell Banker, Corcoran, ERA, and Sotheby's.
Yeah, let's look at a couple of more.
Think about how many well-known brands that is right across the board. That's incredible. And you have Redfin, who hasn't been around even close to most of those, and Open Door sure as heck hasn't. And look at the difference. Like that's just it's
crazy. Open Door is $2.5 billion market cap. They have 2,800 employees, and look at their valuation per employee, $891,000. So does everybody get it? So when you have choices in life, and some real estate agents just don't know the value of owning. And when because they compare it to what they know, which is like for me, I was an agent at Remax, and if I wanted to go quote open up my own real estate company, my thought process is my primary customer is agents. Okay, but I didn't do that. So when I left Remax and I opened up my own real estate company, my customer was people with a house to sell. Okay. And I earned a lot more revenue than my Remax brokers did. I had a lot fewer agents than they had, and I made more money than they did. So does that make sense to everyone? I think everybody gets it. All right. So you've got choices. Number one, should I own? Number two, who should my customer be if I do own? Okay. So in other words, what we're going to help you do if you want is we'll help you double down on where the value is, where the real money's made. All right, that's Open Door. That's pretty good. $891,000 valuation per employee. Wow. Look at this. Here's Zillow. Zillow's customer people are consumers. They sell the consumer leads to real estate agents. Duh. So they're generating buyers, sellers wide open every day. $1.5 million per employee valuation. Here is your home sold guaranteed realty, Tracy King in Tennessee. So they have about a $10 million annual income. They bring in about $3 million in net revenue. I used a 5.5 times valuation, which is very conservative. That gives them about a $16.5 million valuation. They have 60 employees. That's $275,000 per employee. So Tracy could sell his business today for about 16.5 million bucks. It's a predictable business. His customers are people with a house to sell, right? And a lot of other things going on. So now, did Tracy start there? Nope. But he started with the desire. He was a real estate agent. He decided he wanted to become an owner, and he focused in on his customer being people with a house to sell. All right. And he made it predictable and built in a few other things, and the business becomes super, super duper more valuable. So if you guys don't, have this kind of perspective in your business, you might end up building something that is less valuable. And that was why we started out with this question of like, where do you really want to be? Like, what's your future look like? What do you want this thing to look like in the future? And what are you going to do? Your direction, not your intention, determines your destination. You can't say you want to be an owner of a business. I want a sellable business asset. What does that look like? And you define it, but the direction you're taking is something not that. We got to fix that first. The direction you're going down, that's where you get fixed. But the direction changes when you focus on what you most want. So, but that's a quote right there. By our business to consumer model is on average 300% to 10 times more valuable than real estate companies whose customers are agents. That's our business model. Any comments on that, Nathan?
No, I mean, I love those numbers. I love those statistics. I love being able to look at like, hey, what's your business really worth? If you guys are going to create a business that's worth selling, like let's look at other businesses that actually can be able to do that. I love seeing the valuations and things like that. If having a selling business asset is what you're looking for. So, I mean, go just follow the success of other people. The companies that are worth the most amount of money are the ones that attract customers, not the ones that are traditional brokerage. When I show this to people who have a traditional brokerage, they're always shocked. It's like, oh, wow, holy cow. I've been thinking I had this thing.
Just the word traditional scares me.
Yeah, it's just like brutal.
Just that word, I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. As a matter of fact, I am going to show you guys something here in a minute. It's going to blow your mind. And you're going to be happy with it. But let me share two other points for you real fast while we're on this topic. So we was doing some research on this and, based on results. Okay. But 100% of all of these real estate companies, Craig Proctor system members, platinum members, turned owner of their own real estate company under this model, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, increased transactions. Okay. 100% increased seller prospects, 100% increase the amount of money they earn per sale, and 100% increase the number of times customers come back and buy. And those are important boxes that you want to check if, quote, having a sellable business asset is on your vision board. Okay. There has to be, quote, increase, but you want to bake certainty into your business model. So again, direction, not intention, but direction determines your destination. So are you checking these boxes off today? And if you're not, at some point, you just have to make a change. You got to make a change in what you're doing, who you're with, how you're going about it. For me, the first step in change is a discussion about it. Like you just take a breath and you make a serious discussion about it. Did you put that link into the chat, Nathan, where people can actually have that discussion about that?
Do that right now. Why just your link?
Let's do that. I want to encourage you guys to take advantage of that. It's a shame not to. I got something I want to share with you guys. Let me see it. I got this from Dan Kennedy. Okay. So this is I'm going to send this to all of you, so you will get this. I think I've got it to go out in next month's package. Platinum package that we send out every month for you. But I'll give you a little preview of it. So check this out. What is a renegade millionaire? And why do you want to be one? This is Dan Kennedy talking now. And you can see right here, he says, by definition, hope you guys can read that. I'll blow it up as much as I can. without it running off the screen. By definition, a renegade is a person who betrays an organization or establishment and defies established order. At first blush, that might not sound desirable, right? Remember, the culture of the real estate industry, this norm and standards that they have is to make you feel bad, to sometimes even try to punish you when you decide to try to defy industry norms and standards, quote, the established order. Okay. So at first blush, as Dan says, it might not sound desirable, but it is the offensive, defiant outliers and at least temporary outcasts who move the needle with everything. Betray means to be disloyal, but loyalty to false gods, to entrenched orthodoxy left untested, to antiquated restrictions is no virtue. He talks about Luther, tacked his manifesto on a church's door, and as a renegade changed Christianity and organized religion forever. And if you guys want to read a story about that, you can go get that book called Brand Luther. All right. Here's another one. The late Mike Vance, once an associate of Walt Disney, said that if we stayed obedient to established norms, we'd stay locked into only incremental improvements. So still lighting our homes with bigger candles and commuting with electric pooper scoopers for our horses. All right. So true, isn't it? Every entrepreneur I know of by study or know personally, going from scratch to creating some sort of extraordinary business, outside success, wealth, influence, and power, launched or fueled that success as, at least temporarily, a renegade, resisted and reviled by a majority committed to established norms and limitations. The numbers that Nathan and I showed you guys a minute ago are companies that defy norms and standards in real estate. We showed them to you, okay? We showed you the norms and the standards and what their valuation was per, quote, employee, and we show you the ones that defied norms and standards, and we showed you what that valuation was. You get to decide what kind of business you want, okay? And we already know, like, we can pretty much make a list of whatever's norm and standard out there and do the opposite. That's what we've done here. And I'm going to share with you guys something here in a moment that's going to really probably change how you even think about life in general, if you'll give me the opportunity to it. And I've been saving it just for today. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to share with you, I don't even know if Nathan has seen. Right? This is a good one too. Check this one out. You can start that list with a wacko named Columbus, who persuaded the Queen to back his expedition in search of a new world and persuaded enough men to crew his ships, despite cemented conventional wisdom that the earth was flat and that ships sailing too far in only one direction would fall off the edge. Okay. Conforming to norms and standards guarantees no more than normal. People often lose their edge as they achieve certain levels of success from a desire to finally fit in and be accepted by proper people. Companies built with renegade marketing sadly abandon it, bringing in professionals to be adults in the room, settle things down and be less controversial or outrageous, and reversal of fortune soon follows. It reminds me of when we were sitting there, Nathan. You remember, because you showed up the day that we did it, when we changed the brokerage from Optimus Real Estate Brokers to Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. People were thinking like they've lost their mind. Why would you call your company that? It's like, it's as far from the normal and standard in real estate as we can get, is to basically call the business AUSP versus being a real estate agent that makes claims at it, because the world is full of those people. Anyway, I'm gonna send this on to everybody as soon as I get a chance, but I think this will be eye-opening.
Yes. Yeah, it was a game changer for sure. On your company name, that was a game changer for us. I remember being skeptical, Todd, when you were first doing it. I was like, I don't know. I'm hard pressed to believe that like all of a sudden our phone's going to ring because our name changed. And sure enough, like it is exactly what ended up happening. Like people were calling us and actually saying, yeah, hey, are you looking to like something along the lines of, hey, is this Mark Spain's office? Or, hey, is this, hey, is this the guaranteed sale program? How's the guaranteed sale program work? And by the way, we weren't spending $1 on advertising. Nothing was happening. All of a sudden, just incoming phone calls started happening based on our Google business page. I really truthfully was shocked by it.
Okay, let's take a look at this. Did you guys know that there's always a next sale? For real estate agents in the marketplace today, and brokerages for that matter, they don't do this. There is no next sale. They basically get a customer, one more time, they get a customer and to make a sale. That's not what we do here. So what we want to do with you is we want to transform your agent business into a sellable business asset by doing the complete opposite, which is you're going to make sales to get customers. Okay. One more time. Normal real estate agents get customers to make sales. We make sales to get customers. So please allow me to explain. And if you want, I'll send you guys this white paper as well. But normal real estate brokerages hold agents' licenses and process the agent's sales that the agent had to go and get on their own. Correct? And we looked at the valuations of those companies. Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty generates appointments for its licensed sales force. Completely different. Okay. The norm and standard in real estate after a sale is to refer to the customer as a past client. And everybody here knows exactly what we're talking about right there. The real estate agent gets a buyer primarily through sphere or prospecting, finds them a house, and after the sale, the agent moves on to finding the next buyer. The customer they just sold, helped buy a home, is now called a past client. This infers one and done mindset and model. If you use those words in your business, quote, past clients, it creates a mindset which manifests into what you do. So you never pursue anything, quote, different. It has to be sort of reset or reprogrammed, okay, in order to do that. This one and done concept is your biggest problem. How many times have you guys been on a webinar with me or Nathan or somebody else here in Platinum, and we've said, look, your job is to get the customer so that you can use the customer to get more customers. Make a sale to get customers, not get a customer to make a sale. That's what real estate agents do. That's what most brokerages do. Get a customer to make a sale. No. We're going to make a sale to get customer. And once you change or completely flip your business around, you end up with a business that's more valuable and much easier to grow and scale. Okay. And I'm going to work with you guys on this if you want. Okay. So your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, there's no such thing as a past client, only lifetime customers. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the next sale. Okay. So the first sale is helping them sell their home as a means to the next sale. One more time. The first sale is helping them sell their home as a means to the next sale. And the next sale is helping them upgrade to the next home. So one of the takeaways on this is that the target market of your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty is people with a house to sell. So this almost guarantees another sale with the same customer. If your real estate business or what you guys are doing right now is running these ads and you're generating these buyer leads, it almost guarantees you that you will not have another sale, or at least setting it up for next. It makes it much harder. But if we reversed it and your primary customer or target market was someone with a house to sell, virtually guarantees at least another transaction. Okay. So now let's clarify a few things. When I say the word upgrade, I don't mean necessarily that they're moving to a bigger, more expensive home. Like I say here in this paragraph, that might be the case, but they could be moving to a smaller, less expensive place. Both of those are upgrades for the customer, whether they're moving up to a bigger or whether they're moving to a smaller. They are making a move to make their life better, selling the current home and buying their next home to live in as an upgrade in lifestyle. So what we really do here is help upgrade lifestyle. Now, that's far different than what the normal in real estate is, which is simply to sell real estate. What do you do for a living? I sell real estate. No. We upgrade lifestyles, which is the same as saying we change lives versus selling real estate. That is a completely different mindset, and it requires a different way of doing things. And the different way of doing things becomes the business model, and it makes it more fun. It's like a reset of your entire existence in this industry. So after this upgrade, remember now we've got the customer. We sold their house. They upgraded to another home. And after that upgrade, there's a next sale. What's the next sale now? Okay. Well, we sell the customer on becoming a referring agent. We help them get their license so they can legally receive referral fees on all the customers they refer to us. And of course, each one of those customers refer to us. We do the exact same thing. We sell their home, sell them a next home, sell them on becoming a referring agent. Now, if they don't want to get their license so they can legally receive cash on referrals, no problem. We'll donate the equal same amount of money to a charity or church of their choice. So it's the same thing. Instead of them paying it, we'll pay it. All right. So sell their home by offering certainty. That's step one. Sell them their next home, which is upgrading their lifestyle. Sell them on becoming a referring agent, which is new additional income without work. Now, once we have them as a referring agent, then we make the next sale. Well, what's the next sale? We help them get rich. So Nathan, you know a thing or two about investing in real estate.
Yes.
Like you've been pretty much following this model since for the last few years.
Yes. Get cash flow in your business. Makes it more predictable. So yes, 100%.
So check it out. So the next sell is we're going to help them invest in real estate. Now, the model is for the customer to buy at least one home a year for the next 20 years. This one additional home a year is an investment property, that a tenant rents, that produces cash flow from the rent, exceeds the monthly mortgage payment, and the whole landlord-tenant process is handled by the preferred property management company. So check it out. If they buy one investment home a year for $500,000, and then 20 years later sell it, it's probably going to be valued around $1.5 million. It'll be paid for because they're reinvesting the money back into the principal. Essentially, now they retire in 20 years by selling one of those homes that they bought 20 years ago. If I'm looking at the customer, I'm like, can you live on a $1.5 million a year? But that's it. It's very simple. There's always a next sell. So let's break this down specifically. Okay, let's break it down. This is an anti-norm and an anti-standard way of doing business, but it is the Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty model that many of you guys didn't even know about what we do and how we do things. Okay, so first, we do the opposite of what real estate agents do by existing as offering certainty. Again, we exist as certainty in the marketplace, guaranteeing that their home will sell. That is certain. Okay. Versus a real estate agent making claims about it, or an iBuyer company making lower than wanted offers. We're essentially existing as certainty. When you exist as certainty, you're not making claims. You just exist as that claim. That's a big, profound difference. Hopefully you guys understand that. Now, this intentionally brings in and magnetically attracts seller prospects, i.e. buyers with a house to sell. The number one thing people want is certainty. The number one thing people fear is the unknown. All right, so we solve this issue by sheer existence. There is no question why we exist, what we do, how we target customers. Our exclusive online marketing system ensures that your business shows up in all four parts of a simple Google search of any keyword searches by a seller prospect. If you don't know what four parts there are to be online, that's paid ads, the business listings, the videos from YouTube, and SEO. If you do not show up in all four parts when somebody types in sell my home in whatever your marketplace is, if you don't show up that way, you're losing business. All the marketing and money that you're investing in marketing, people go to Google. They're not necessarily going to your website anymore. They just go to Google. So you got to show up in all four parts of that as existing as the very thing they want, certainty. When you do that, you start to get other people's business, which is what you were referring to a minute ago, Nathan.
100%.
Right. Now we can spend more here in marketing than other agents can or other brokerages can to get sellers, because when you get a listing, whether it's exclusive or non-exclusive, we have a system to leverage the property to get more prospects. This whole concept of using listings to get more listing brings in more prospects at a lower cost. So what it allows you to do is spend more money on the front end. You can do radio and television and billboards and targeted direct mail that at a much, much higher rate. And your regular real estate agents and brokers, they can't do that. Okay, why? Because their model is one and done. But when your model is one and many, the many come at a much, 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 much lower cost. When you get a listing or a buyer and you use them to get more business, using them to get more business is far less costly than what you paid to get them to start with. So you can pay more to get people to start with, but if you don't have that back end or using customers to get more customer system in place, you're going to get crushed in the marketplace because it's getting more and more costly to get a customer. And number two, people like me and these Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty guys that know how to use customers to get more customers, they're just going to be able to outspend you on the front end to get marketing. Okay. But that is how you get your marketing budget to around 10% on average. It's just brilliant. It's just a brilliant way to do business. But Craig taught me that a long time ago. All right. So as soon as we list the home, we begin work on the second sell, finding the customer their next dream home. And most of the time, the sale of their present home happens right before they purchase their next home, right? Everybody understands that. This sale is handled by your next home specialist or your buyer's agent. Now, as soon as the ink is dry on that sale, we begin helping or quote selling the customer on how to get paid for sending in referrals. And when they get paid for sending in referrals, you get more referrals. So you instantly have predictability versus unknowns. When you're paying people for sending you something, you can predict the results of it more. Okay, and you can begin to track that. It's pretty easy. All right. Look, if they refer one person every 3 months, like 4 a year, which they would if they're getting paid to do it, they can earn an extra $10,000 to $20,000 a year in additional income. That's pretty slick. Okay. And of course, everything we're talking about here, we have systems that do this. Then the customer is contacted by our Retire Rich or real estate investment team to consult them on the system for using other people's money to buy at least one home a year for the next 20 years. So when I said earlier that we upgrade lifestyles, you guys tell me, is everything that I just described to you today selling real estate or upgrading lifestyles? Is this a lifetime customer play or a one and done past client play? All right, so here it is again. For Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty owners, you magnetically attract the ideal customer, someone with a house to sell, by not just offering certainty, but by being certainty. You sell them their next home, i.e. upgrade their lifestyle. You sell them on becoming a referring agent, new additional income without work. You help them create wealth by investing in at least one home a year for the next 20 years that someone else pays for. They sell the paid for home in 20 years and live large. Now, let's look at it this way. If you're selling 50 homes a year right now, and you get each customer to send you just one referral a year, and you got only 25% of your customers to buy at least one new home a year, you'd get to 1,000 sales in just 3 years. It's like compounded interest. So instead of this long, drawn out, just crazy work affair, spending all kinds of money to try to get the 300 sales that many of you guys are trying, how can you get to 1,000 sales in a fraction of the time? And I just showed it to you. is by always making a next sale. But what are the next sales? Now you just need fewer customers that you can afford to invest more to get them, because you're going to use every single customer to make multiples and multiples and multiples and multiples of more sales. And that, my friends, is why you want to go to yhsgrlegacycall.com and book your consult. So if you pulled yes earlier when we said, hey, is having a sellable business asset, on your vision board? And almost all of you said yes. If owning your own Craig Proctor system real estate brokerage could be far more lucrative and beneficial to you personally, professionally, and financially, would you be open to taking a deeper look at it? So you guys tell me, Nathan, did we just do a pretty good job of showing everybody that it could be far more lucrative and beneficial to them professionally and financially?
I think you hit on it pretty nicely.
Yeah, dude, it's that. But you can't listen. You can get there the hard way, but many of you are not getting there the hard way. Like, you're really working hard. You guys are amazing people. And your business is just making incremental gains. You have to you've got to come to a conclusion, like I did not too many years ago when I hired Nathan and brought him in and said, okay, well, dude, this is what we're going to do. I've been talking to Craig about this now for 3 years. We're pulling the trigger on this right now. And I think it's going to work better than what we're doing. And of course, we well beyond proven that, so much so that we rushed to make it available to Craig Proctor system members, and now we have 110. And it hadn't even been 2 years yet. I don't know if this has ever been done before, where you roll out a real estate business model for a real estate brokerage, and you go from 0 to 110 in a year and a half. Has that ever been done before? Did RE/MAX do that? They didn't sell 110 franchises in the first year and a half. They almost went bankrupt. According to Dave Liniger in his book, Gary didn't do that. I don't know anybody that's ever done that. So we may be the first in that area too. And the reason is why? Because it's all about defying industry norms and standards. So you guys get down here and go to that yhsgrlegacycall.com. Now, when you get there, let me tell you what's going to happen. We're just going to spend some time with you on this very topic of what I just shared with you. What are the next sales to be? What's the model? How can we get to where we really want to get to easier and faster? Why does it have to be so hard? All you got to do in your place is just make a decision that you would rather be in a position of ownership versus renting. And what kind of business do you want to own? One that's more valuable or less valuable? One that makes you more income or less? One that's more fun or harder? Like, it's all choices that we get to make, but some people just don't know what really exists. So I just wanted to spend some time today sharing that with you guys. And I think we did that. All right. So Nathan, comments before we look at the next day?
No, I think you hit on it pretty well. I mean, if you guys are looking for something different, this is about as good as you guys are going to get. This is different. No one else in the industry is really doing anything like this. So, it is interesting though, Todd, to me, that no one else really is doing it. Like, you look at like the loan side of it, you got Quicken Loans, right? Like, it kind of makes sense. Like, the benefit is in the name. Like, you go talk to someone in Australia, you're like, hey, Keller Williams, what's that? And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You could talk to people in the United States about it. They wouldn't know what it was.
Yeah. Century 21. Like, what's that? Then you're like, your home sold guaranteed realty. Oh, you guys buy and sell houses. Like, is it really that simple? And it's like, yeah, it really is that simple. Like, your name isn't describing what you're doing. So what do you have to do? You now have to go spend a lot of money to describe what your name even is. So, these marketing companies, it's like, yeah, why not just call your name what you're doing? It just makes a lot of sense. And I know it's like, it can't be that easy. It's like, it really is. It really is that easy. So, it's pretty, something that's different. And it hit me over the head when we first started doing it. When someone sat down with me and said, oh, what do you guys do? We were open for 2 weeks at this point. Like, so what do you do, Nathan? Who do you work for? And I was like, I work for a company called Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Oh, I know what you guys do. You guys buy and sell houses. Like, genius. So
The funny thing is that, you know, we don't buy and sell houses, but the
Yes.
customer takes from it. Like if I want to sell my home, I'll just call them.
yes,
And that's ultimately what you want. You need the customer deciding on their own accord that they should call you over and above anybody else or any other option. But if you got to spend money and time to explain to people what you do and how you do things, you do understand that you've got a problem in your business, because spending money and time to explain what you do is a wasted resource when you could absolutely explain what you do for free. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen in my mind. Now, granted, the reason we weren't doing this 10 years ago is because Google didn't exist like it did 10 years ago. We used the direct mail and offline marketing to drive our businesses. So we hid, quote, brand names. But when everything switched online and millennials came in and says, we don't even need a real estate agent, what do they even exist for? When we realized that, we were pretty early to fix that. Let's look at a couple of other things that I think make a profound impact. On this white paper that I've got for you, it says right here, another norm in real estate is to do all the work after you get a client and get paid at the end. How many of you guys operate that way right now? You get a customer, you front end load everything, resources, people, time, marketing, technology, all of it. And you get paid months later, right? Isn't that how most real estate agents operate? I learned from Craig, I mean, early when I got in this business, that's a horrible business model, because the one thing I needed was money to be able to operate at a higher level. So this high cost of doing business like that is going to keep you from making investments. It's called a negative cash flow cycle. And I can assure you that if you want a sellable business asset, just tell the investor or the buyer of your business that you have a negative cash flow business. A negative cash flow cycle, which means negative cash flow. If that's the kind of business model you have, they are not going to be interested in talking to you any further. All right. So we've got to flip that. And we turn the tables on it because we get paid a portion of our fee. So here's the averages now for your home sold guaranteed realty peeps. About $2,000 for sellers and about $1,000 for buyers. And this happened like really fast. So once I introduced this to the owners of your home sold guaranteed realty, it was like lightning fast. They implemented this. One of the first things, because everybody likes giving themselves a pay raise. But I want you guys to imagine this right now. If you listed 4 homes this month and you got $8,000 before you ever sold anything, or you signed up 2 buyers a week this month, you got $8,000 from that. Like, what would you do with an extra $6,000? You haven't even had a closing yet, but now you've got an extra $16,000 a month. What are you going to do with that? I know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to turn right around and invest that back in your business, and you're going to get more implemented, and your business is going to grow faster. This is why businesses don't grow very fast. They're just, quote, undercapitalized. Okay. So how do you become better aligned with being capitalized to make investments in your business? We just showed it to you. So now look, understand that what we're telling you right here, you can go out and figure out, but all these things are already being done. Everything you want to do in real estate is already being done. And some people, Nathan, say, well, my customers wouldn't do that. Well, your customers wouldn't, but why would all of these other people's customers do that? And the reason is simple. They must be offering and doing something that maybe you aren't. And that was eye-opening to me. Is when I saw somebody getting something that I wasn't getting, it was obvious they were offering something that I wasn't offering. I didn't say, oh, my customers won't do that, or I can't do that, or they won't work in my marketplace. That is really, really, really pig-headed and in an attempt to validate our own shortcomings. That's not who an entrepreneur is. A real entrepreneur says, if they can do it, I can do it. And they say that in terms of other industries. If it works in that other industry, I can make it work in my industry, in my space that I am. So sellers are eager to pay a couple of grand at the time of listing because we have a certified pre-owned home system that they can't get anywhere else. Okay, so this actually increases the likelihood that their home is going to sell, and they pay for it. Look, buyers are eager to pay upfront because they get access to properties that they can't get anywhere else, unlisted and off-market homes. We have a system for that. Okay. So does everybody get that? But you have to package that and deliver that to the marketplace in a special way. But this is just turning the tables on how real estate is listed and bought and sold, for sure. Okay. Nathan, you're pretty good about talking about, this whole workplace culture.
For sure.
Like this to me, let me give all of you guys an exercise right now. This is good. Go pull up, do me a favor, and you could probably do this while we're talking right now. Go pull up all of the leads that you generated in the last year. Write it down right now. You don't have to put it into the chat, but write it down. How many leads have you generated in the last 12 months? Write that down. Okay, how many leads you generate in the last 12 months? All right, you probably have some ballpark idea of it. Okay, now write down right under that how many homes you sold in the last 12 months. And I'm going to guess that the number is despairingly different. Like you have a large number of leads that you generated and a much smaller number of people that you actually sold. Okay, so I don't know how you feel about that tremendous loss of business, lost opportunity, business that you're not getting. Okay. But I didn't like that. It was like, man, I know we're doing okay, comparatively speaking to real estate agents, but we're doing pretty much not okay when you compare the loss of business that we're not getting what's going unconverted. So it was a direct correlation into our skills. In other words, there was something that we didn't know we weren't doing. There was something that we didn't know, which meant we weren't doing. That's why we were losing so much business. Everybody get it? So the opportunity is transformation in that particular area of sales skills, negotiating skills, closing skills, customer service skills. That's how good your team is based on the amount of business that goes unconverted. So if you guys have a lot of prospects coming in that's going unconverted, now how about this one? This is probably even a better sign of it. Since I gave you the exercise. How about this one? If you go and look at the closings that you did get, here it is right here. Look closer through the closings that you did get and look at the source of where they came from. Here's what you're going to discover is that the amount of leads that you got compared to the closings that you have, it's even a worse problem than you realize just by looking at those numbers, because a lot of the closings that you had were never even part of the leads that you brought in. They were referrals and past clients and Sphere. They weren't part of your quote lead generation system. This means that the lost business, or rather unconverted business, is even bigger than you previously thought. This is a massive opportunity for all of you. So what's your solution for this? We have one, and we knew going into this that if these real estate brokerages are going to be super duper successful and become sellable business assets, the first thing outside of getting customers, the first thing need to happen is the sales force had to be the best on the planet, because you cannot afford that kind of loss of business. What good is it to go out and create new prospects and opportunities if they go and convert it? So we got to fix that first. We had to totally change the way people were trained in doing business. So our training system did that. Nathan, how do I go about seeing what this training system looks like if I haven't seen that before?
Yeah, once you guys schedule a call with us, just go to whyjustgrlegacycall.com. Once you pop on, you guys will get signed up and we will initiate a 72-hour access so that you can kind of jump on, check it out, not just see what you guys are going to get, but what your entire team will be getting as well.
So let's summarize it this way. Hope you guys like my white paper. It's the first time I've shared it with Platinum members, but we've been working on this pretty diligently with Your Home Sold peeps for the last year and a half. We do this a lot at our Built to Sell boot camps that we put on every month. But under this model that I was sharing with you, okay, we check all the boxes for Wall Street on having a high value sellable business asset. And of course, I've proven to you how you can scale up your business so much faster than what you're doing right now. Remember, I introduced you guys to the concept when you got into platinum of using other people's, using other people's money. I also introduced you to the concept of using your customers to get more customers. And many of you guys have done an okay job of some of those things, but stuff in your business enterprise and the growth of it still falling a little bit short of where you want it to be. That's okay. That's just a recognition that it's falling a little bit short of where you want it to be. So what's needed is more change. More change is needed. Okay, not more of the same, but more change. And you have to, and that's why we introduced this whole opportunity to platinum members. It's not for all of them. It's just for some. Okay. Number one, you really need to be in the top 1% of income earners to do this. And that's why we tell people no. Top 1% of income earners is who, Nathan?
Brokers.
Top 1% of income earners, how much income would that be?
Top 1% of income earners, that's going to be about 500,000, roughly right around there. 250 is top 2%, right?
So yes, the top 1% of income earners, just FYI, are people that earn around $200,000, $250,000 a year in income or more. Okay. So once again, how do you know if you're in the top 1% of income earners? You make about $250,000 a year or more. That means 99% of the people in real estate don't do that. Okay. And if you're starting to get into that income range, you're different than all the other real estate people in the industry. So once you discover you're different, you don't want to contract away from those differences. You want to embrace it and do more of it. It's just, it's the greatest gift God could probably give you is differentiation. And when you're different in an area, you lean into that and do more of it. It's sad that some people shrink back from it. So anyway, but these boxes include systems that are teachable to employees, that's scalable, valuable to consumers, that allows you to escape commoditization. You run a positive cash flow cycle, which means you get paid a portion of your fees up front. It's repeatable, but that means that customers have to return again and again to buy from you. And it works without your constant involvement. That means you have a plan and a system for doing business. Okay, so when we put all this Your Home Sold stuff together, remember, these were things that we knew needed to happen for people to have a sellable business asset. So you can be confident that that it's being built that way. So I love it. Anyway, let's go back and do we have any questions? Anybody ask any questions here that we need to get to?
I got one question. What's the average increase of the Your Home Sold guaranteed brokerages?
Let's see. I got averages in platinum and in the next level. So I was going to see if I had a ladder on it, but maybe I don't. Maybe I do. But here it is. I got one. Okay, so right here, you guys ready for the numbers? Craig Proctor coaching average around 100 grand. Platinum around 700,000. And these people are titanium, Your Home Sold, one and the same. Average income's about 3 million. Okay, so you can see it's pretty profound, like considerably different as you move up the ladder. But make no mistake about it, you don't wait to get there to move up the ladder. You move up, you upgrade or make a change in order to achieve that. Those are just the averages. So that means you got people coming in, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Some people are just showing up last week, Nathan, and they make $250,000.
Yep.
But what will it look like next year? $1 million or more? I don't know, but something like that. So you make the move to make the move. You don't like wait and to get to where you want to get to, and then you do it. That's craziness.
Yeah,
right?
we were just talking about that with the coaching members on the last call. It's like we were showing them what 50 transactions look like, and it was like you and a unlicensed assistant, and it's like, yeah, you don't wait to get the unlicensed assistant when you hit like 30 transactions. No, like you just get the unlicensed assistant so that you can get to that number. Then you're going to add the OSAs before you get to the next level, right? Because like you guys need to, if you guys want to get there, then you basically need to set your business up to get there essentially. So I like to usually hit on that piece as well.
Yep. Okay. So, now if you guys, have any questions at all, you can type them into the comments in the chat, but my job today was quite simple, just to show you, what's really happening at the top of the ladder there. Like what's being transformed? Like, why are these guys seemingly more successful in a much shorter stint than everyone else? What's going on? So let me recap for you. The questions we asked in the beginning were straight up, are you going in the direction that you want? In other words, what you most want, most of you said, I want a sellable business asset. Okay, great. Are you heading that direction? Are the things that you're doing today getting you that? And if it's not, you need transformation, and you need it now. Okay. Don't go another day or 2 or 3 continuing in the same direction. Intention does not determine where you're going to end up here. It's your direction. So that was the first big point that we make. Direction, not intention, determines destination. If you're not directing yourself or going down the road where you most want to be, then you must make a change. All right. So pretty obvious there. Next, we asked, okay, is a sellable business asset on your vision board? And most of you said yes. And it's like, awesome. What is that? Like, what does that look like? What a business like that? What does that even mean? So I spent several minutes here, almost an hour, walking you through the complete opposite of what an average real estate brokerage looks like. Traditional, what do you call it, Nathan? Traditional real estate brokerage. So we looked at a different real estate company. And the company that we looked at, as I showed you in the beginning, is far more valuable because it's a business to consumer versus agents are the customers. All right. And so when we looked at that, then we drilled down even more. How can we defy industry norms and standards legally and ethically to end up with even more valuable, lucrative business much faster? And I introduced you guys to the concept there's always a next sale. Okay, there's not a one and done here. There's a next sale, a next sale, a next sale, and a next sale. And you will put systems and people in place because we already have them. It's all part of our plan and system. You're going to put those in place immediately, and you end up getting to your 500 or 1,000 transactions or more in a fraction of the time as you would doing it the other way. Okay. And if hopefully I did a good job of showing you guys that. Now it's totally up to you on what you do about it. Okay. I would go to yhsgrlegacycall.com. I think, Nathan, you dropped that into the chat. I'd book a meeting with us. We've got your contact information on the polling. So we're going to reach out to all of you guys anyway, and try to connect with you one-on-one and talk about where you want to go and what you want to do. So we'll do all that anyway. But outside of that, we're having a good time with Craig. I appreciate you guys being a part of what we're doing and how we're doing things. And just lean into it. Don't miss anything. But by all means, whatever you want in life, go for it now. Don't wait to go for it. That's a sin. Go for it now. And because that's where the regrets happen. I didn't go for it. So Nathan, what's some of the feedback that you get, or pushback or stalls or delays from our members in pulling the trigger on having their own Craig Proctor system brokerage like this? Like what do they say?
I haven't implemented everything in Platinum. No one has. Let's be realistic. Do we have a single member in the entire Platinum, or into all of Titanium, really? Has Rudy implemented all of Platinum? Todd?
That's probably not a fair question. He would be one of the few that probably has implemented.
Almost
at some level, about all of it. Yeah, but the majority of people no.
Yeah, it's the vast. We're talking about a small percentage of people that has ever done that, and so that might be one of them. One of the biggest ones is I'm not a broker. I don't have my broker's license. So that I would say, that's another one I hear. Okay, I don't have my broker's license. What would be my options there? But for the most part, everyone that I usually talk to is wanting to do this. I don't have the money. would be maybe the next one. I don't know if I'm ready to make that sort of investment yet. And
Isn't it less money?
that's what I usually run with them. So
I mean,
after
isn't owning that, don't we use like, what is that? I think it's in the buyer presentation. There's a slide in there that shows people how renting is more expensive than owning.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
we actually show people that. So isn't
Well-
owning less expensive? So how can owning your own company be more money than renting? Don't you do a pretty good job of showing people that typically what they're paying right now is more than what they would be if they had their own company.
Yeah, in truth, like once you really start breaking it down, even if you own your own brokerage, like it really is actually probably still costing you more money, because you really break down, okay, one, the fees of your current brokerage. Then you also are looking at the fees that you're paying for Platinum. And really, once you add both of those up together, it's usually about the same price as what you're currently about to pay here. And you're just getting more value because your current brokerage usually isn't giving you much. But let's say even if it isn't, you have your own brokerage. Like, what's the cost of you not having a name like Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty? Like, what's that costing you in marketing dollars? Like, there is a opportunity cost thing. Like, oh, my business is working really well right now, but like, could it be working better? Like, it's the opportunity cost. Like, and that's a piece that I like to go over frequently as well. And not only that, it's like, are you guys getting paid by your lender, your attorney, your home warranty company? Like, we have deals that are already structured to basically pay you close to, somewhere between $1,000 to $2,000 on every single deal that you refer to a lender. I mean, that's a complete game changer. When we started rolling that out, I mean, we have people making a good bit of money on just that piece alone, where it's like the lender's actually, cutting a good bit of good chunk of change to you guys. And I'm actually really surprised at the number of people that are not using other people's money to basically pay for the systems and everything else. So that's our main goal, is like, let's get all these other people paying for your entire system and more. So
Yeah, I think most of the things that you said, quite honestly, they're just excuses.
they are.
I don't have a broker's license. It's like it's going to be, quote, too much money, or I don't have the money. Those are just excuses. Like, and we shouldn't do that to ourselves. That's the part of our lives that, we want to get away from, is making excuses about things. I'm too tired today to get up and go to the gym. I can't make it to the conference because I got a buyer that wants to see some real estate. Like, those are the parts of our life that ain't making it better. So that's some transformation that needs to happen there. Like, of course, there are workarounds and solutions to everything. You don't even need a broker's license to own a real estate company. Okay. It's not a prerequisite. And there's 120,000 people in the United States and Canada that have a broker's license. Okay. So then there's not that many brokerages. So you guys understand all that. There's a solution for it all. It's just a matter of digging in and say, okay, how do I do it? And I think that's how you want to approach everything. How can I do that versus like, I can't do that. And once you become that kind of entrepreneur, like how can I do that? How does that work? What do I do now? Like, once you become that entrepreneur, you're unstoppable. But when you're the entrepreneur of, can't do that, my customers won't do that, my marketplace is different, that's not legal, I can't afford it. Yeah, if you're that entrepreneur, the glass is half empty entrepreneur, your success is going to be very, very, very limited. Okay, so we get to choose, kind of our mindset here, but yeah, I like the Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty mindset of, dominating a marketplace by hyper focusing on who the customer is, customers for life, helping one person get rich by working with them for a long time and using the customer to get more customers. It's just a far better business model than what else is going on in real estate. Hey, let me say this to you guys. There are two things I'm going to leave you with. And I know most of you guys have polled yes, you want to do this, or at least have a conversation about it. That's cool. We're going to follow up with all of you. If you want to get first in line, go to yhsgrlegacycall.com. Do that. That way we can move you up the schedule on it. But let me leave you with two things. Okay. This is going to be good, Nathan. You ready?
Ready for it, my man.
All right. What if it cost you your entire commission check to get a customer? Like, isn't it true that it's becoming more and more costly for you to get customers through paid media? If it's true that it's becoming more and more and more costly for you to get customers through paid media, you do understand that the end result is it's going to cost you your entire commission check to get the customer. So my prediction for all of you that don't change things, it will cost you your entire commission check just to get a customer, because there are businesses that exist. Their whole model is to actually even lose money on the front end to get the customer, because they make gobs of it through the lifetime customer. So they invest everything they're going to make on the front end. Again, they're making a sale to get a customer, because having the customer for life is where the income is. So what if that were you? It's going to cost your entire commission check. Say your commission check's 10 grand. It costs you 10 grand just to get a sale. What are you going to do? Well, you would immediately either get out of the business, which is what will happen to a lot of real estate people, or you would implement a system so that when you got a customer at a high cost like that, you monetize the customer. Okay, 9 ways to Sunday after you got them. All right. So again, we know the trends in real estate. We're 25 years ahead of everybody, have been since I got in business with Craig. And that's what we've done here with that model. So hope you guys like that, but I want to leave you with that. And I got one more. All right. I got one more. Trying to decide if I want to deliver it or not. Any questions though, Nathan, before I deliver that?
I think those were all the questions we had, TW.
All right. All right. So that was number one. What if it actually happened that way? Okay. Next, what if all of your marketing, think about all of the marketing that you guys do, direct mail, posting everything online, that you guys post, your billboards, your radio, whatever you guys are involved in, all of your marketing, your ads, everything you do, direct mail. I mentioned that. Okay. What if when you told people to call you, they didn't? 100% of them, even though you said call, message me, text me, go to my website, but 100% of the customers went to Google. Or how about this? They went to TikTok. But they did the complete opposite of what you were asking them to do. They did what they are used to doing. What if tomorrow, all of your marketing, every single piece of advertising and marketing that you do, the customer didn't do what you asked them to do, they went to Google instead? What are you going to do? What would you do if that were the case? Are you just going to I'll take out paid ads and be there? Well, what are they typing in? Do you guys know what the most searched terms are in real estate? Okay, number one searched keywords, sell my home. So if I go type in sell my home, in other words, I see your ad and your ad says, your home sold, guaranteed, or I'll buy it. Todd Walters. I see the ad. I go to Google. I type in sell my home on Lake Lanier. See, you've got to know what people are doing in order to get the customers. So when you put marketing out there, if you're expecting the customer to stop what they're doing and call you when they're used to doing it a different way on all the other ads and marketing they do in life, you got to fix it. So what if that happened? What if that's the thing? Well, it is. Okay, so you've got to show up online in all of these various keyword searches as the absolute expert or authority on the thing they're looking for, not just someone making a claim. So I'm going to leave you guys with those 2 items. Okay, that'll get you thinking and hopefully light a fire under you to get on about doing the very thing that you ultimately said you wanted to do anyway. Scale up your business to a sellable business asset. It's not for everyone, but it may very well be for you. Anyway, Nathan, that was fun. I enjoyed running through the next sale. step after step. There's always a next sale. And I think that'll change the way people think about their real estate business now.
Yes, 100%. We did have, I actually was just going through, I know we had a couple questions, is can this be used in multiple areas? Meaning, can there be multiple offices? I know we have the answer is yes to that one. You guys can grow and expand this thing to wherever and whenever you want to. Our goal is to get about a 10% market share and market share cap. So that's kind of our goal there. Todd, do you want to hit on any more of that, or do you just about cover it?
It's a license, not a franchise, so you're not restricted by area.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that answers that one. I think we had one other question. Oh yeah. How many systems do I need to have implemented before being able to do this? Is there like a system limitation to it? Like, do I have to have a certain percentage of Platinum implemented?
No, but the qualifications really are, you're in the top 1% of income earners, so you're making like $250,000 or more, and you got an employee, you got help. Talk about why they need a good admin.
Yes. I mean, like if you guys don't have a good admin, it's just hard to implement anything. I mean, if you're wondering why your sales are up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down as a solo, like you can't be sitting there and be, the cashier, then sprint to the back, be the cook, then, package the food and take care of your customers. And also, have the headset on. Like if you're like running a Chick-fil-A or something, like you can't do everything. It's impossible. So, it's going to be the same way in your business. This is why, you have some good months and you have some bad months, because it's because you decided not to market that month. It's because you decided not to be the ISA that month, and you just decided to run around being the OSA, and you decided not to replace yourself in those areas. So, in order to implement anything, you guys have to have people surrounding you, and you're looking for good high lid individuals who can, you basically look like, wow, this person could potentially run a company. I mean, that's what some of the best people have. In the Craig Proctor system, you'd look at some of the people that they have hired and be like, wow, that person looks like they could run their own brokerage.
This is what's pretty amazing. We have enough people still here that it's probably worth me mentioning. What do you guys think the starting point is? Let's say that we're working with you on setting up your sellable business asset company, your this future real estate company you want. Let's say we're working with. What do you think the starting point is? You guys don't have to type it in the chat. I'm just asking the question. Generally, what do you think the starting point is? Where would we start with you? Like I'm looking at this built to sell playbook directory here, Nathan. It says how to open your own super successful real estate brokerage. So what do you guys think the starting point is? And that's pretty telling. It's sort of like me asking the real estate agents at your firm or on your team, how do you sell a house? And I asked them all that individually. And let's say there's 5 of them, I get 5 different answers. All right. Or I say, how do you show a house? And I get 5 different answers. Can't even come to an agreement, or really don't even know the processes or standards of how do you show a home even. Everybody's got their own different ways of doing things. And that's where the issue really lies, is that there's lack of clarity on achieving what you most ultimately want to achieve. So we guess at it and we take steps in a direction, which is cool, but you realize that some of the steps you may have taken were not right. So incidentally, the first thing that we do is the financial model. Step 1. What is the quality of your accounting personnel? What is your accounting system and the financial model? First step. Not, let me run and get my broker's license. It's bass backwards. So this is a for-profit business. So if we don't set the business up, quote, for profit in the beginning, agent pay plans, fee structures, income model, how much you're going to get from the customers, who's going to pay you what and how, what's coming in and what's going out, that whole model, that's the starting point for all of our Craig Proctor system brokerages, which is why they're successful and profitable, because we start with profit first, and then we reverse engineer it from there. I thought that was pretty cool, Nathan. I didn't know if people were thinking that way because they've never done it before. So of course they're going to take stabs at it or guess at it. Or I'm going to go in a direction that I think I should go based on my current paradigm or people I hang out with. It's like, if you're like, I was hanging out with my Remax guys, but I'm like, if I want a Remax like these guys have, I'll copy them. But I didn't want that. I was like, I don't want that business. That looks, they're still like having to sell real estate. They got 200 agents. It's crazy. So I think everybody understands that. So
Yes.
Anyway, so we can use that as a takeaway. Starting point is always, how you gonna make money? Financial model. Okay. So we start there and you get your real estate brokerage open within 90 days. But that's the starting point that we do with everyone. So excellent. Now, if you guys want to learn more about all of this, we do these Zoom meetings pretty regularly, but I wouldn't wait around on those. I would just reach out to us and let's do a one-on-one and maybe start your discussion a different way. But hopefully I did a good job today of educating you guys on, how you can have a business that survives any shift in the marketplace, no matter what happens. And while simultaneously ending up where you most want to be in life. Hopefully I did a good job of showing you at least a way to do that, that a lot today, 110 Craig Proctor system members are involved in. So that was fun, Nathan. I appreciate you jumping on here. I want to thank Cheryl for organizing it as well. We'll follow up with everybody who polled and, try to do a ASAP conversation, deep dive into what a sellable business asset for you can look like. And if you want to do it, we'll do it together. And if you don't, we'll give you a big hug and we'll continue to work with you on selling more homes and making more money. That does not stop. Thanks, Nathan.
Appreciate you.
Go serve big, everyone.